Sure, you got the whiskey, but do you got the touch?
Don't get me wrong.
I'm glad you're a Shania fan.
Yeah, that'll keep me warm in the middle of the night, though.
Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to. But, you know, you're probably drinking whiskey already, and you probably should be drinking whiskey already. And you
Unless you're listening to this in your car on your way to work.
Yes, John Hughes. Don't yell at the thing. He's like, I'm not drinking. No. John is a very reasonable person and is likely not yelling at us yet.
Dude, Kentucky Colonels don't do that.
Dude, he's a colonel, man. Dream status, man. Like that's honestly, like I can like retire from my job when I'm a Kentucky Colonel one day. Like, yeah, that's all I gotta say. So, John,
now that I've derailed the intro.
In the exactly. Oh yeah. So anyway, here's how you can support us. We go through seasons of a lot of comments. Let's bring that season back. Let's do some comments. I want to hear some great comments on this, whether it's related to the podcast or not. Just say shabadoo or something like that. Didn't someone do that?
That's usually my when I start a new thread for something we're talking about on Discord. I'll just like start a thread and just go shabadoo.
Shabadoo. What's your opinion? Actually, that's a way you can support us. And my next thought is, what's your opinion on Adam Sandler movies, Brian?
Oh, yeah. Well, frankly, I would say conditioner is better.
Shampoo is better.
I make the hair silky and smooth.
So good.
Thank you, Juanita.
So here's my question for you. Yeah, obviously you appreciate the 90s Adam Sandler movies. What about post 90s Adam Sandler movies?
Dude, what's the one Lost in Translation?
No, Punch Drunk Love.
Actually, so that's not what I was thinking of.
Okay.
And I'm not sure I've seen that one.
It's definitely not Lost in Translation. He wasn't in that one.
Yeah, no, that was
Punch Drunk Love was impressive. Like Adam Sandler nails a good dramatic role. Like even like it's just crazy to me how well he's known for like these silly comedies, but like he can really nail a dramatic role. And people that know me or people that know his career know that's true. Yeah.
You will get why I said Lost in Translation. Which is also an awesome movie because it's Bill Murray.
Yeah, it's Bill Murray.
But Spanglish.
Spanglish.
I knew it was some sort of foreign language thing.
Was that dramatic? That was not as comedic as his typical role.
He is not being an idiot the whole movie.
He
is being a normal, relatable person, like going through a hard time. Like, and I thought he did. Of course, I haven't seen it in like a really long time, but I remember watching that movie and being like, dang, Adam Sandler can do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I heard Uncut Gems was like phenomenal role that he.
I didn't see that one. Yeah, but
I haven't seen it either. Yeah, of course, but Adam Sandler, man. One day we'll have him on.
Yeah. Oh, Adam Sandler. Drama movies. Let me Google.
Yeah, it's like quick. Uncut Gems, Punch Drunk Love, probably
Funny People, Spanglish. No, those don't look like dramas. Oh my gosh, Click. Did you ever see
that?
Click?
Was a drama? I thought that was another.
I mean, this is just just Google throwing anything.
I heard it was kind of your average, maybe a little bit more serious than your '90s Adam Sandler, but yeah.
It was Click was super dumb. Don't go watch Click. Go watch Spanglish.
So what I am excited about though is they're gonna do a sequel to Not Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. Did you hear about that?
Oh no, I didn't. But I wish they
Happy
wouldn't.
Gilmore? No, he's gonna nail it. Like I mean, sadly, what's his name is dead. What's that guy's name? He played Chubbs or whatever the guy's name was, but
dead in the movie, dead in real life. What?
Dead in real life. Well, I guess he is. I guess that answers it. Then he's already dead in the movie. So, what is that guy's name? Now John Hughes is yelling at his
Chubbs.
Yeah, what's Chubbs? No. What is his name?
His real name? Dude, I have no idea.
The actor.
You know the alligator that got your hand? Well, I got his head.
His name is Carl Weathers, of
Oh my
course.
gosh. How did I not? Wait, no. Carl Weathers has been tons of stuff.
You know why I know his name more than anything? Not because he died recently, because he played himself in Arrested Development.
Oh yeah,
and he played like this like cheapo guy who's like, oh, you're gonna throw away your bones from your fried chicken? You could put that in a stew. Like stuff like that. It's funny. I love Development.
Dude, Carl Weathers died like for real?
Like
Because
recently.
he was in Mandalorian too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Rocky. Yeah, like Rocky 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm seeing Rocky 4, Rocky 1. Yeah.
Okay, Rocky 1. I gotcha. He was don't tell me, Apollo Creed.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I haven't seen Rocky in forever. Oh yeah, Apollo Creed. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I've only seen Rocky 1, and I'm a Philadelphian, so that doesn't say much about the movie.
I know I've seen one once, but I don't think I ever watched any of the other ones.
It's one of those things where you're like, what? Like you look at, I mean, I honestly, like I'll watch The Godfather and be like, this wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Cause I think like dramas and movies have gotten so much better over time, but you got to appreciate them for when they were. So I do appreciate Rocky 1 for whatever, the 70s or 80s or whatever that came out. But but I don't know if I'd watch it again.
Yeah. Do you have any movies that are like, I cannot believe I haven't seen this yet? Like when you talk to somebody and they're like, what? You haven't seen whatever? For me, that is the Godfather. I've not seen The Godfather.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I don't know. I haven't seen, there's, you know what I really wish I had seen, and it's not like a classic.
Happy Gilmore.
But no, so there's a joke on this podcast that goes back to like day one that I don't say curse words on this podcast, but I do not believe this word is a curse word as it has shown up before. But in Glorious Bastards, I've never seen, and I heard it's great.
It's okay. Cole said it with an E at the end. Yeah. So bastards.
Yeah. It's French. Yeah. But also, what else have I got, there's like in terms of classics, I've seen a lot of them, but I don't always love them. So a fun tradition I had in college with my friend Matt, it was actually like one of the best traditions ever from college. And we had a lot in my friend crew. But this was called Movie Wednesday, and it's very simple. Ooh. It was you finish all your homework by the end of the day on Wednesday so that you do not skip Movie Wednesday, which was, so it would be like, like 8 o'clock or something. Me and my friend Matt, maybe a few other of our friends, but it was always me and Matt. We would watch a movie from one of three realms: dark drama, psychological thriller, or an award-winning movie, like a strong award-winning movie. So we watched everything from like The Machinist to North by Northwest to like some really, really cool movies that we watched through that time. And the cool thing was we would always pause it in the middle of the movie. And I was at the time, especially in my freshman year at the time, I lived very close to the cookie place, the late night cookie place on campus. Yeah. So we would pause the movie. We'd walk up to the Dog Pound, is what it was called at James Madison University. Nice. And we'd grab a cookie from Miss D, the classic Dog Pound lady.
D's cookies.
D's cookies. No nuts and D's cookies. And it was like warm and huge. It was like this big and thick too. And then we'd get some.
We're talking about cookies, right?
Yeah.
Cookies, right?
Miss D was awesome too. You know what I'm saying? But no, Miss D was like a lunch lady kind of physique. But some people are into that. You never know. But anyway, we would get 3 cookies total, depending on if it was just me and Matt. We get 3 cookies total because we knew 1 was not enough, but 2 was too much. So we'd split it 1.5 each, get some milk, down that cookie, and watch the rest of the movie. It was such a good tradition. I remember so fondly Movie Wednesdays.
I love that. In the middle of the movie, you're like, cookie time? And he's like,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was like, I think it's time. And yeah, like it just wasn't a movie night or a Movie Wednesday without a cookie in the middle of it, or a cookie and a half.
Nice.
Yeah.
Favorite cookie?
I like chocolate chocolate chip cookies.
Nice.
And variants of chocolate chip cookies, whether they're chocolate chunk, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Chunk for sure.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if you could beat a chocolate chip. Like, I like snickerdoodles. I like white chocolate macadamia nuts. I like all those kind of things.
Nice.
Here's a close second, though. Peanut butter Hershey Kiss cookies. Close
Ooh,
second.
okay. You're almost to what I was going to say.
Okay.
Peanut butter cookie with chocolate frosting on top. And I want a thick layer of chocolate frosting on my peanut butter cookie. And that's like, you probably remember Sodalicious here in Phoenix area.
Yeah.
It's like a soda shop,
The
but
Mormon
they sell
place.
cookies too. Yeah, it's like hella Mormon.
Yeah.
It's closed on Sundays, Mormon.
Yeah.
But they have just, it's the kind of cookie everyone's had. I'm not gonna put good words to it, but it's just a thick. It's as big as like the palm of my hand, if not bigger. It's got a nice thick cookie base to it, and then it's got the like semi-hard like icing on top all the way across. Nice thick layer. They do the peanut butter cookie with the chocolate frosting right. It's good.
Did I take you to Shindigs when you came here? So it's this place in Richmond that they used to be a sit-down dessert restaurant. Only desserts, cocktails, and coffee.
No, we did. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Good.
It was like downtownish, right? It was not close to your house.
Yeah, not too close. Yeah. And they make the best cookies, the best like bars, the best cakes and pies.
I got that. Also, I got the peanut butter bar with the
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
A close second to those two options. So a second runner-up would be the toffee oatmeal cookies that go in an oatmeal cream pie from Shindigs. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
So good. And they don't tell you this, but that's the secret ingredient is toffee.
Ooh,
but I know
nice
because my got a great palate up in here. I just won the last re-entry buzz. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the toffee like? So there's little crunchy bits in there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So like when you bake toffee, it like spreads out a little bit, but it's still got that little. It's basically still toffee, even though it's kind of melted a little bit into the cookie.
Crispy. Yeah.
It's almost like hard caramel, but it's like right in the middle with that butter in there. You know what I'm saying?
Butter.
Yeah.
Nice.
What are you entry buzzing on?
Yes. So I actually just poured my second entry buzz.
First entry. Second. Okay. Yeah.
Separate. Yeah. Oh yeah. Not a redo of the first one. First one was my current open Booker's batch that needs to get killed here. You can see it's almost at the end. It is 2023-01 Charlie's batch. So it's
Charlie. Nice.
Charlie
I got
needs
an older
to die. One. Oh yeah?
2022-02. Lumberyard.
Oh dang.
This was a prior drink along one time.
Yeah. I had a lumberyard for sure. I think my first Booker's was before that. And then I got a lumberyard and I was like, dang, the lumberyard is so much better than whatever the previous one was. And then I got a Charlie's batch and it's just all right. I have a Kentucky tea that I've heard really good things about. Nice. So I'm excited to open that. If that was open, I'd be drinking that right now. Yeah. First entry buzz was Charlie's batch. Second entry buzz is a sample given to me from Slugga Fitzpatrick.
Nice.
It is Mighty Fine batch. I never bought one of these, but I believe Mighty Fine reviewed very well. So I was excited to drink Mighty Fine next to the reserves is what we're drinking today.
And I also 2023-03. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, correct. I'll pour a little bit of the Infinite too here, just to remind myself what that was like.
Tasteless gum.
I know. Right?
So okay, let's talk about that for a second. We were talking in a Discord group about how some other unnamed channels would be like, oh, is this the whiskey of the year, and like kind of these sensational thumbnails and stuff like that. And I was really proud of us for not even hearing what people's general sentiment of Little Book the Infinite was. But also coming across as like this was nothing special. And not that we were like the first person or the first channel to say that, but I was like, we good at what we do, man. No one likes this batch, like it was validating, I guess. So
the only positive review of Infinite that I've seen was people who also considered it the whiskey of the year.
Oh, really?
That their review is the only review that I have seen. That's
the one
positive.
that I'm thinking of. The one that
yes,
really.
I have seen no other positive reviews about it. I mean, like
that is
really
funny.
positive.
They actually gave it. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, but okay. I was proud of ourselves.
You said
like, we try to be honest, and that's one of the things we got a little bit of great feedback at the meetup was like, hey, you guys are honest and you're not trying to impress anyone.
Right.
And after 6 years, I kind of agree. I like to agree at least.
Yeah.
It's like,
it helps to have a day job too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because here's the thing. I don't know. Like, they're not listening right now, but I do not know if Garrison Brothers is going to send us something else again, which is fine. It's fine.
Right.
But like, speaking of the last thing they sent us, we were like, not great.
Yeah.
And we had to be honest,
one of their products has to be our least favorite. So
yes, exactly.
It was
same goes for Found North. We've had a least favorite of Found North, we've had
True.
a least favorite of Sazerac Buffalo Trace,
Yeah. Not Guadalupe. What was it?
It was I have it right here, I think. No, I don't.
Balmorhea.
No, I don't.
Balmorhea.
Yeah, Balmorhea. It was
Yeah. That's the double oaked one. Yeah. Speaking of Garrison, I was at Total Wine today. They had the Cowboy. They had the 2024 Cowboy. It's the 10th anniversary Cowboy. Yeah, it's like 140 point, like
gotcha.
1 or 2 or something. I elected to not buy it. It is good and I like it a lot, but it is $270. And like, yeah, I have the one from last year and I like it. I'm still drinking it, but it's like, I don't want to get caught up in feeling like I need to buy every Cowboy.
You know what I turned down today?
What?
Booker's Master Distiller Blend. It's $100 these days.
Wait, what? What is that?
That's the most recent. I believe it's the most. No, let's find out.
The most recent
this is
Booker's
2024 or like 04 or 05 or something like that is the Master Distillers batch.
Yeah, there's usually only 4 a year.
Yeah.
The way that you said the name or just the words, it sounded
like country
it was like,
ham.
I thought it was like a new Booker's product that I hadn't even heard about. Because they came out with Infinite, batch. They came out with the reserves. If they came out with a Master Distillers Blend, that was like a whole other thing. It wouldn't have surprised me at all. But
you never know these days.
So how much?
Freddie
was
knows
that?
up to no good. What's that?
Yeah, and up to NOE good. How much was the Booker's at your store?
$100.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to spend $100 on a Booker's. It's just. I mean, if you're really looking for peanuts, just go Knob Creek.
Yeah. If I didn't have any Bookers, I think I still wouldn't even pay $100 for like, I should have a Bookers. Here one is for $100. I don't think I would have bought it either. I think every now and then they're here in Phoenix at Costco for like $82. And that's like if I don't have any Bookers, I'll go ahead and buy one. Yeah. But today, again at Total Wine, they had 2024. Probably 2. I don't think it was like hot off the press or anything.
Springfield batch?
I don't know. No idea because it definitely wasn't 01, but anyway, I saw the price and I just turned right around $130.
Nah, thank you. No, thank you.
It's so weird how like sometimes Total Wine will price match Costco here, and they will have Booker's priced at 82 or 87 or whatever it is. But then a new batch will come out and it'll be 130, and it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I said I'd turn right around. Do you remember the meme when the Xbox 360 came out? There was this like online copy paste thing that was like, why it's called the Xbox 360? It's because when people see it, they turn around 360 degrees and walk the other way.
That's funny.
like people who would like spam that, like they know what they're saying, but it's just to get people to be like, don't you know what 360 degrees means?
It's like 365 degrees.
I love it's one of my favorite memes that's like stuck in my head. It's like they turn around 360 degrees and walk the other way.
You know what they say? They say 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do make a right.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So get this. Someone's at the front door. Sam is handling this graciously for me because she's an angel. It is whiskey. She is signing for me now a Baker's 13. I actually might pop that sucker open right now, actually.
Yeah.
On a walk break, I'll walk on over.
I think it is about time for our walk break. And we'll get back. Yeah. We'll talk about the history of Booker Noe, as well as what we're drinking today, the Booker's The Reserves 2024 batch. Any other thoughts before we send it to a quick walk break?
No, sir.
All right, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And Brian has a few things he wants to say regarding Bakers and such.
Oh, I have more than that, actually. This is going to be the longest episode ever. No, I'm kidding. First off, before we talk about Bakers and such, you have been to my house now.
Have I? Yes, I have.
Right? Does
I don't know why I phrased it that way.
Feel weird to like where I'm sitting right now? Like
it feels different.
Yeah, but I had this feeling.
Yeah, more informed
with you when I went to your house.
Yeah,
it's like now that I can like imagine you where you're sitting. Like I know where the door is. I know the hallway. It's weird. I feel even more now that I'm like here with you and like I like know where you are. I was curious if you like had this weird feeling like I do.
No, I'm definitely more informed. I know why that phone booth or the phone contraption on the back is there, as well as potentially a Van Winkle rye next to it.
Oh my gosh.
Potentially a Pappy 15 next to it. As well as
I know.
Potentially a Van Winkle 20-year, otherwise known as Pappy 20. But anyway. No, go ahead.
I drew the line at the red bag. The red bag was a little too pretentious. I did hide that.
Oh, I forgot that 20-year has a red bag. Oh,
but since you name dropped it, I'll bring it out next episode. But anyway, and they're all open. Can you believe it?
Dude, not surprised, but I love the idea.
Yeah.
We'll be getting a 2-ounce sample soon.
I know. Yeah. For sure.
But I definitely
what else am I doing? I'm opening this Baker's
13, baby. Okay, so let's talk about Baker's for a second. Do you know why they call it Baker's?
I assumed somebody had the last name Baker.
No, somebody had the first name Baker's, or potentially it might have been their middle name. In the Beam family, there are a lot of middle names, or potentially, like for example, Booker Noe. That's not his first name. His first name was Frederick, actually.
Really?
His middle name was Booker. But Baker was a Beam. And so they're naming it after Baker Beam.
I was really excited for you to say that it was a Baker Noe. Booker Noe and Baker Noe.
That would be funny. Well,
twins.
Yeah. They might have named Booker after Baker Beam because... so the interesting thing is that Noes are theoretically not half Beam, but you know how it goes. So Jim Beam had a son, and his name he had 3 sons, I think. One was Earl, one was Carl, one was something else. But Carl was, I'll get into this in the history, but then
Earl
he also
and Carl?
had at least one daughter.
The third guy, obviously, his name was 4 letters and ended in ARL then.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't even think of that.
It was Barl.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there was Garl, you know.
Yeah, Zarl. Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 Carls, one with a C and one with a K. But they he also, at least Jim Beam, not Jim Beam, Jim Beam's son, which I'm blanking on his name, had a daughter. No, I'm sorry. Jim Beam had a daughter. Her name was Margaret, and Margaret had a son named Booker. And we'll get into that in a moment.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. But I think Baker was prior to Jim, actually. The first American immigrant from the Boehm family, which is not in the history. The Boehm family. They Americanized it by making it Beam. It was BOEM, which in Germany is pronounced Boehm.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I was born in the darkness. No, that's Bane. But Johannes Boehm was the first immigrant, I believe. And then there was like Jacob, and then there was like other ones. But Jim Beam was born in like the 1800s, died in, I forget, maybe like 83 or something like that. No, he died. We talked about that today on the history. He died in 47 or 48.
Okay.
But before Jim, there was like, a David S and like a David or so, I forget. But there was like a Jacob and Johannes and stuff like that. But there was also apparently in the mix was a Baker Beam.
That's cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, Baker has some darker liquid here, and like, look at this is the higher dark, one on the screen right now is the Baker's. Yeah, look at that thing. It's good.
Do you know what the mash bill is on Baker's?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I forget.
I have no clue, but they did just come out with that new high rye version.
That's right.
I imagine it is lowish rye then.
Yeah. Does Beam ever make a weeded mash bill? Am I forgetting anything?
I can't even think of anything.
They do. Yeah.
Nah.
Not a lot of people work with wheat. Heaven Hill definitely does, but that's mostly like Bernheim. But don't they? No, they have Larceny. Larceny's big. And then they have Johnny Fitzgerald and Johnny Fitz, which are weeded bourbons. And then,
Baker's is 13% rye, sir.
Okay.
77 corn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, so no multi B's or no 10% multi B's?
Yeah. 10 B's.
Math in my head. 10 of those B's.
Super quick hot take. Delish.
Good.
I'm good at not purchase validating and just being like, yeah, I spent money on this and it's in my hand, therefore it's good. I like the proof on this. The proof's only 107. Only 107. Nice. It comes across very, very oaky and fruity. With the beam nuts are lighter on this. It's like it has nuts. Bees nuts are as light as you hope they would be. Good. In it has this like delicacy, as delicate as nutty beam can be. This fits the bill. I think it's good.
Okay, I saw the high rye one at the ABC store today.
I love that it's only what, $55 or something, if I remember correctly, or is it 60, 65? It's somewhere. It's like not too expensive.
I didn't even look.
I'm pretty sure because I contemplated buying it, but then like I'm sure it's delicious, but I just figured it would be another one of those bottles that would sit on my shelf 75 for 3 years
at my store.
So it's probably 80 at mine then.
Yeah. Sucks. Anyway.
Well, now that we've extended the breeze.
Yep. So let's talk about some notes to get to before we get into the history. All right. A really quick reminder for all those listening that Christmas is coming. That means 2 things. 1, Secret Sampler. That is our our sample share Secret Santa. If you're not familiar, last year we did something where we gave 4 categories. I believe there was the entry buzz, the daily like reliable pour, there was the show off pour, and then there was the weird / out of the ordinary pour. We might keep it similar this year. We might switch it up a little bit. But we like to keep it that way. And it is in a way, if you want it to be blind, it can be blind. You can taste it and then find out what it was afterwards. We had a really good show out, or whatever the phrasing would be. Really good turnout. But it was awesome. I loved it. And Brian Duncan, for me, he was the guy that sent to me. Man, he threw down. He did 3 of each. Like, so he sent 12 samples, which is totally allowed. So if you like, this is like, so when, do you ever hear Reddit Secret Santa?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So like back in the day, they cut it off a few years ago, but it was like awesome.
Really?
I loved Reddit Secret Santa. I did it every year since I found out about it.
Did you ever get Bill Gates?
I wish. So that's the thing, is like, you might get Brian Duncan by doing, you might get Bill Gates by doing but there were like 100,000 people that showed up to that. And I would get, like, last time I got, like, the final year, I got like probably over $100 worth of stuff. Like, and they were so kind. And what I love about, I'm a gift guy. I love gifts, love giving and love receiving. And I usually give about $100 worth of stuff when I did that. But what I loved about it was, like, some people were very genuine and like very sincere about the gifts they give. And that's what I love about gifts, is like, sometimes they're meaningful. Often they are well thought out. And Brian Duncan was nothing short of those things. But also, you know, like, I think you sent at least double the standard, didn't you?
Yeah, I had my 1 through 4. I had my categories, as Cole explained earlier, but then I was just like, what else have I gotten this year that's been really fun to try? And I was just like, pour.
Yeah. So if you're interested, you know, we're going to definitely send it out to our Patreon people. But if you're interested and you also listen to the podcast, hit us up on Instagram or at chillfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. And we would be happy to get you in the runnings for 2024 Secret Sampler. That's all I got. But also, real quick, we also do a yearly Christmas gift celebration. This comes at our Christmas episode where we drink something crazy, but we also open gifts from our listeners and from each other. Brian and I always, I'm co-host tonight, but Brian threw down last year. I got a Stag bottle. What else did I get? Do you remember? I mean, I remember getting
I got you some from Buffalo Trace, something that was like a fun.
So you got a wee Glencairn, and maybe another, 2 Glencairns. One was a wee, and that was awesome. And this year, I don't know what I've decided yet to get you, but I do know at least one of the bottles that I am going to give to my random giftee or gifter this year. And so what we do is, like, Brian and I send each other gifts, but we also give our gifts to one best gift, 2 random gifter. We do this every year, so if you've been here before, you know how it works. But if you send a bottle, or not even a bottle, if you send a gift, usually half the time it's not a gift, or it's not a bottle. So don't worry about sending a bottle if you're worried about that. But the best gift for me and Brian is given 1 bottle per me and Brian. But then we also randomly select a gifter. Each of us do, and we send them a bottle. I decided that my randomly selected bottle this year, or randomly selected gifter this year, will get a Elmer T. Lee, just like last year.
Hey, very good.
I haven't decided on the best yet, but yeah.
Nice. And as Cole said, your gift to us does not have to be a bottle. You don't have to figure out a way to get that to us. Shout out to Paul Clarkson.
Right? Yeah, Paul Clarkson.
Look at this thing. So this is cool. Cover up my face so my camera stops focusing on my face. Yeah. This is the Ice Cube stamp that Paul got us last year.
So well. Yeah.
Look at all that focus going crazy here. And look at that logo, man. So cool. Yeah.
And it's inverted, or not inverted, it is reversed so that you see the logo on the Ice Cube.
Yeah. You got me thinking. I was like, wait, but is inverted the right word there? But I guess it's
the right word.
Yeah.
Because it is not on the whatever angle, or I don't know. There's a way to quantify that.
I have no doubt. So my random bottle that I will gift will be a Stag this year.
Nice.
I'm not sure which one. You know what? Maybe I'll just whoever wins it, I'll ask, hey, do you want 23C or do you want something else?
That's a great idea.
Just to see, because I've got a couple here.
A few backups.
Yeah,
I've seen the shelf.
I know, right? The best gift though, I'm still considering, but it will be better than a stag. Let's say that.
Nice. I gotta think. I got some good options. But we'll see. I'll decide, and it'll be crazy. I have one bottle that I'm like, no, I probably won't do that one.
The Van
But
Winkle 20, should I do that one?
yeah, it's already open. It would be worth a lot. I was like, so my thought went to the Abraham Bowman, but I don't think I'll do that this year because I still haven't opened that one. The French oak.
You haven't opened your French oak?
No, I've had it though.
I like with the fact that we drank it and I guess it just like it hadn't never processed to me that you had actually like never opened it.
Because didn't we actually got pours from Sazerac for sure. That. And then we went to A. Smith Bowman and drank more of it, right?
You're right. We did. Yeah. No. Well, I don't know. Whatever. I feel like I've had that on more than one occasion. And so the fact that you said you hadn't even opened your bottle, I was like not computing.
Yeah. I'm excited. They got some cool ones. Apparently, according to the TTB, they got some cool ones coming out soon. So
yeah, and if I remember correctly,
fly out for that, dude, so we can just sample all three of them that were announced or TTB announced.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Do not let me miss a Bowman lottery.
Oh, for sure.
I will fly out to pick up whatever Bowman bottle it is.
Hit up David Bach.
Just last night, I poured a little bit of the Bowman Cast Strength Batch 2, and it's just like it's insane. It's so good. I was getting some like apricot kind of stuff on it,
from a strong bourbon. Yeah,
like I know it's got appley stuff that I know you identify, but I was getting more of a sweet, sticky, turned into apricot kind of thing last night. So good.
They do great things over at Sazerac.
And Bowman.
That's all good. Yeah.
Bowman with Sazerac. Unconfirmed.
Yeah. No, it's confirmed. They actually they're willing to talk about that. They just won't talk about much more than that. They're willing to say, yes, we get most of our secondary, like our distillate from Buffalo Trace, but they kind of like get hazy after that point.
Right.
Yeah. Even saying about like they'll say it, but they're also like not trying to make it a big deal. But who cares? It's Buffalo Trace juice. Like in my opinion.
I never heard him say it. I feel like he said like Schmuffalo Schmace once or twice.
He said sister distillery is what I remember.
That's right. Yeah. Wow. So they've identified their gender. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Buffalo Trace is a girl, everyone.
There you go.
So that is the notes to get to before we get into Booker's. I'm going to rush through the history because we're going long already. So
my bad.
No, it's all good. We've actually done 2 or 3 drink-alongs with Booker's, actually. But we've only done one ever episode on Booker's before, and that was the 2018-01 batch, which was Kathleen's batch. We did that for episode 148 in 2021. Yeah. But this Booker's bottle that we're drinking today is pretty special. But I wanted to talk about some history of who Booker Noe was. The guy they named Booker's after. And when I say they, I mean he. And so, yeah, one fun thing I learned about Booker Noe, and in the same, whatever you call it, in the same
universe, Marvel universe.
In the same Marvel universe, talking about Jim Beam Distillery, or James B. Beam. And you know what the B stands for? It's not bacon.
Bartholomew.
Close. It's Beauregard. James Beauregard Beam. So yeah, he was born in Bardstown in 1929. And I thought to myself, wait, wasn't he the grandson of Jim Beam himself? And that is true, even though they had different last names. Frederick Booker Noe was the son of Jim Beam's daughter, Margaret Noe, who of course married into the Noe name. And I was like, I would have expected no name Beam. I would have expected in such a family business that Booker would have been born in Claremont, Kentucky, where the James B. Beam Distillery is. But in researching this, I found out that the distilling site of the family distillery was actually in Bardstown, or at least Nelson County, until 1933, when they started building post-Prohibition, and they built on a new site in Claremont. So thought that was pretty interesting. So it all was in the family, and Booker himself was working at the distillery since his teenage years. Or by the age of 21 years old, he began working, which is pretty young. Like, we're like half, or we're double that, man. Like, we're not, but we're almost that. Yeah.
Dude, I got my 20-year high school,
at least of that. Yeah.
20-year high school reunion coming up here.
Ooh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I might actually go to that. I might actually like fly out to Philly or whatever for that. If they do
I
it.
don't think so.
Even know. They might not invite me.
There's only one guy I keep up with. There's only one guy I care to keep up with.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, but yeah, he was 21 years old in 1950, and he began working as the assistant distiller shortly after his grandfather Beam died in 1947. But he was trained likely by his uncle Carl Beam, a man who helped rebuild the Jim Beam distillery after Prohibition, and that transferred to Claremont, Kentucky. By age 31, only 10 years later, in 1960, Booker became their master distiller and held that title until 1992, where he stepped back to do some work as the global ambassador, or as a global ambassador for Jim Beam. But before he retired in 1992, he introduced Booker's Bourbon in 1988, 4 years earlier to his retirement. And doing some research.
88? Booker's was introduced in 88.
Dude, and there's more to it. After I like I told you, I did some extra research, but I'll get into that.
Yeah.
But I believe, based on my research, and I might be wrong, but based on my research, I do believe that Booker's was like the first commercially bottled, uncut, unfiltered like product in the bourbon world. I mean, of course, people used to fill their jugs with a liquid straight from the barrel, but that doesn't count. This is like commercially bottled, straight from the barrel, which is a big deal in the late 80s, which was a slump in whiskey, or like at least whiskey and bourbon sales. Rare Breed from Wild Turkey followed suit in about 1991, and so did many other offerings from other distilleries. But it's funny how like not popular cask strength bourbon was prior to like the 1988.
Right.
And so before I get into it a little more, I'm actually going to pull up the I looked into this, and I looked at every batch of Booker's, and it goes back to 1979. Even though I said 88, apparently Booker's was producing certain bottles that weren't commercially sold, like that weren't sold through distributors. He was often giving them to friends and small batches to those who were with him and around him. Goes back to February 16th, 1979.
That's crazy.
And on top of that, so it was like he put out like a bunch of batches until 1988. But then in 2013, they started naming them beyond the batch numbers.
Yeah.
So like in 2004, for example, they just had a batch called C04-A-28, and that was 129.1.
Lovely name. Yeah.
You know exactly what they mean when they say C97B07.
I know, right? Way better than like Juanita's batch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then in 2013, 06 became the first round table batch where they started naming them. But technically, they really didn't start naming them until 2015, where it started as Big Man, Small Batch, just like big fat guy in a little coat. And yeah, you get everything from No Hard Times to Annie's Answer to Kathleen's Batch to Country Ham to Beaten Biscuits to Mighty Fine Batch. Do you know what the rye was called, Brian?
Booker's Rye.
It was called Big Time Batch. Rye Big Time Batch.
Damn.
And you haven't had it, have you?
God, no.
Dude, I had it and it was amazing.
Yeah.
That's like one of those things where you didn't know it would be as big as it is now, or at least as a legendary as it is now.
Right.
And then you're like, this is pretty good,
So. Not too long ago, I saw some posts from somewhere, like, remember back when, and it was like somebody who had bought like 4 at Costco for like $120 or something, or $160 maybe. Dude. It was like, I get it. Like back then, that was a lot for whiskey.
Yeah.
But dude, the value is not going down on that, and the value is going down on a lot of things.
Yeah,
but it's not going down on that, and it's like 2000.
2000. Whew. And it was hot back in 2017. It was actually, it was 2016. It was, I believe it was over 200 in 2016. Ooh. Yeah.
Maybe I'm well, it was Costco after all. I don't know. I remember seeing it, and with the date in mind, I was like, yeah, that might have been a lot for whiskey back then, but people who knew, they knew.
Yeah. No, yeah. And if you try, I would have thought about buying more if I had, after I'd tried it, but after I tried it, they were off the shelves.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, he died in 2024, Booker did, but his legacy lives on even through what we're drinking today. This Booker's The Reserves batch is a commemoration by Freddie Noe, the grandson of Booker, to Booker Noe. It was a commemoration to Booker Noe. Booker's grandson through his son. So the middle child of Freddie and Booker was Fred Noe. Fred wanted to honor his grandfather with a blend of 8 to 14 years. Okay, so before I get into that, so like, what do you do when you have like 4 sons? That would be hard. They would be fighting. It's like, I've never seen the show Succession, but that's what I imagine.
Dude,
I hear the show I gotta watch it.
Succession is so good. Yeah, watch it for sure.
I'll watch that. So Heather and I were watching The Boys. You ever see that show?
I cannot believe you're watching The Boys.
Yeah,
sir, who never utters cuss words.
No, yeah, they got and they're very gory too. Usually,
The Boys is like the most.
Is it?
What the fuck show I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh wow!
What episode are you on? Like,
dude, we're about to start season 4.
What?
Which is they only have 4 seasons thus far. Yeah.
But you're questioning me as to why I think it's a WTF show? Like,
no, I just don't watch a lot of TV. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, like remember that episode where the person shrinks way down and runs inside?
Oh yeah, that was So my wife and I, we usually just skip those scenes. Like in terms of sexual scenes, we skip them. But like that is so that makes sense what you're saying. So that's the disconnect here. Is like, all right, I don't want to see that guy's wanger. Yeah. I can see what you're saying now.
Yeah. I'm let's just say I'm all in when we watch weird shit.
Oh yeah. You don't skip ahead. You're like, there's that guy's thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it's all art, baby.
Yeah. It's ars gratia artis, you know what they say. Which is a Latin joke for anyone out there. It says it's a Metro Goldwyn Mayer MGM's motto is art for the sake of art.
That's what it is.
But anyway, yeah, I imagine like this actually came up. Earl and Carl, and there's another guy who I'm forgetting his name was. They were all sons of Jim Beam.
Yeah.
And the Arls, yeah. And the other Carl. No, I'm kidding. But what happened was, get this, Earl, after becoming a very good distiller at Beam, went to Heaven Hill.
Dang, traitor.
Do you know where Parker Beam came from? I think he was the son of Earl, if not the grandson of Earl. And Parker Beam died in like 2015, 2016. Okay. But he was the legendary Parker's Heritage, the legendary Heaven Hill distiller, as well as there was an Elmo Beam, and like they go everywhere. So that's the thing is like, and then the funny thing is,
Tickle Me Elmo came from.
Tickle Me Elmo came from, and but actually, Elmo had a little bit. I believe Elmo had a little bit to do with the Seagram's Four Roses start. And then someone was Beam was behind Eagle Rare originally.
Oh,
and
dang!
I think that might have been Elmo. Was the Eagle Rare brand started with a Beam?
Wow!
So it's like crazy. So it's like But then the cool thing was I looked it up and I was like, did Carl like have a rough split with Earl? And apparently not. They actually were really good. Like they were tight. And basically Carl said, you did the right thing. Like you have all these skills, but we can't split it here at Beam. So it's good that you did that. And apparently they were like, if someone was missing a part in, at Heaven Hill, like someone would bring a part down from Claremont to say like, hey, you got like so much, basically you got like what you need. Yeah. So anyway.
So that's why they called it Eagle Rare instead of Elmo Rare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, that's a lot. We're going way long and we haven't even sipped yet. So let's talk about what we're drinking today. I said commemoration of Booker Noe. Freddie wanted to honor his grandfather with a blend of 8 to 14-year-old bourbons. There were many barrels that went into this batch, but it is cool that it's older than your standard Bookers. Typically, Bookers is between 6 and 8 years old. This being 8 to 14 really makes it stand out. Proof 125.9. It is a blend of bourbon, so it remains a bourbon. Same deal as usual. They claim the Booker's barrels come from the inside portion of the warehouses. That's what makes Booker's so special. It's the peanut section of the warehouse.
Heck yeah.
Which is why they say the best barrels are. Uncut, unfiltered, as it always has been. Let's get into this. Booker himself was a water guy. He says, I'm gonna basically make this a cast strength option, but I recommend putting a drop or two in there.
Well, so earlier you were talking about, the origin of uncut, unfiltered and everything.
Yep.
And I'm not a historian. I'm not sure if this is technically correct, but what I've heard is that cast strength bourbon, the point was so that you have more to work with when you pour it in your glass and when you purposefully cut it down with water, your bottle lasts longer because it's a higher proof. And then, younger guys were like, nah, I can take it. And then people started to really like cast strength whiskey.
That's pretty much the truth. It's funny, as I was talking and pouring, I poured my entry buzz. So I'm going to pour that back and use a different glass.
I heard the cork go and I was like,
you got a bottle?
I don't think he's got one of these bottles. I'm curious. But luckily, speaking of hearing corks.
Oh, nice and hollow.
The tone lasted like surprisingly long for me. It was nice and resonating.
Ooh.
So I'm staring at 3 Glencairns with whiskey and now I'm pouring my 4th. So that's cool. Dude, I got a whiskey night with the boys coming up here.
Oh.
Brian Duncan's smoking some ribs.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I need to make sure.
Go ahead.
Need to make sure I don't drink too much here.
Yeah, save it. Not too peanutty on the nose, which honestly, here's my thoughts about Booker's. Maybe I've given this away already. Booker's is just peanuts, and it's hard to break out of that. And it's like, it gets old to me, and that's why I didn't buy a bottle today, because it's just more peanuts for $100. And I like it to an extent, but it's just not worth it to me to keep buying. But I've heard there are some standout batches, but this so far doesn't have a peanutty nose to it.
This has fruit going on here.
A little bit.
My brain says red fruits. It is not juicy. It's not coming across juicy, but it's just enough fruit and not a ton of like brown sugar, sticky, what you'd expect, nutty stuff. Not as much of that. It's almost like that's cut with a lighter red fruitiness that the nose comes across more delicate and less punchy than a standard Booker's.
He said, my mind's telling me red fruits. And I'm thinking, my mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yes.
Telling me
is
red
a terrible
fruits.
reference because that's an R. Kelly reference. But anyway.
Honestly, if you had asked me, if you'd quizzed me, like, okay, but who was it? Who was the singer? I don't think I would have even known it was R. Kelly. But I sure know that meme, though.
Yeah. I used to say that all the time with my friend Trevor.
What? My
But
mind's
that was
telling me no?
before R. Kelly was arrested.
Yeah, before it was known what he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a bad. I mean, this isn't a overly peanutty whiskey. I don't know if I love it, but I'm gonna give it more chances. Good, it's good.
The age really comes through on the nose for me, relative to, because I was just sniffing Mighty Fine, and I was sniffing Charlie's. Yeah, that's what I was drinking earlier. Those two noses came across punchy and nutty. But this reserves, and now like I sipped, and of course I started talking immediately after I sipped, but it's working its way. The oiliness is working its way like down my throat while I'm talking. It's like, it is not ABV punchy. It is not overly nutty. I think that there's a lot of different things going on here that's going to be hard to put my finger on. It stays a good medium body. It stays a good balance of fruitiness, but also nuttiness. It has a little bit of leather and a good amount of age. I think it's just like,
That's a good note.
This is like hugging you could really, really tighten the bell curve around whiskey notes, and this would still like hug the peak of the middle of balance in classic whiskey notes.
Yeah. I'm going to compare this real quick to the Infinite from Little Book.
Good. Oh, dang it. I need to pour one more Glen. All right. I've got my 5th Glen here. Let's hear what a low volume. Look at what's left of my Infinite.
Oh, wow. It's impressive.
Yeah. Well, much sharing was done on this.
Okay, because here's the thing is like we kind of determined based on, our methods that Little Book, the Infinite, was just meh to us. It was a bourbon. It was a bourbon, but it wasn't anything special. So let's see.
Whoo doggy. All right. Sniffing my Infinite now. Infinite sniffs.
Oh, Booker's the Reserves beats this any day.
This oh my gosh, just instant relative to all the other Bookers and Bakers I have in front of me right now. The Infinite it has a Sharpie thing going on that none of the others do.
But also it is just so blah. Like it's hard for me to get around. It is just the most basic bourbon you could ever drink. The Infinite is. Like it's just okay, semi bourbon notes, but nothing else. Like no fruity, no. Yeah.
It's infinite, Cole.
That's it. That's how they make it work. They stretch it out to infinity, so you get nothing special.
So bad. I bought a bottle of this from my buddy Josh, and after he saw our like hot take on the reviews, he was like, "Do I actually want this bottle?" And I was like, "You do not." I was like, "I will return it to Costco if I have to."
Did you?
Yeah. Nice. So anyway, Sam's getting an old fashioned after this. The Infinite is going back behind my monitor over here. Hopefully I don't grab it during the reentry buzz we record after this.
Yeah. No, that'd be funny.
Dude, that's, I give things a second chance, a third chance.
Yeah.
I had one sip of that today, and all I want is one sip of that today.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like every bourbon stands out, but that one just doesn't.
So bad.
Dropped a few drops.
Oh, good. Yeah. All right. I'll try to keep up with you.
This might go 2 hours today.
Sorry. My bad again, everyone. Nah. I hope your commute is extra long to work today, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you come into a traffic jam.
I say things like that, but people who are listening and working from home are like,
suckers. So I will say this. There was almost probably one of the most pleasant peanutty notes I got a little bit on the neat pour. And what I mean by that is it is not peanut forward like you usually expect from Booker's. There's a slight peanutty note, but that makes it so special to me. It's like, oh, I get a little peanuts there. But it is a little bit of red fruits. Not as red fruits as like wild turkey juice.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier too.
Yeah, Wild Turkey. I started to like fall in love with good Wild Turkey. Shout out to Marco and AZ,
Nice.
who's always been pushing that on me.
He was supposed to try my Russell's 15. We were standing around and he pointed at it and he was like, dude, that Russell's 15. And I was like, try it. Or I might not have explicitly said try it, but he needs to try it. I was last night, Patrick Slugifus, who gave, if I didn't say this earlier, Patrick Slugifus gave me this Mighty Fine sample. He posted a picture of him drinking a Russell's 13 and it had like this much left. And I was like, my Russell's 13 has that much left. So that's why it's sitting right there, because I pulled it out just to sip a little bit last night.
Yeah.
And I've been extra critical about Russell's 13 batch 5 because in my opinion, batch 5
literally just drank that.
Like literally right now?
Like during the break, the walk break, I drank that.
Yeah. Oh, good. Batch 5 doesn't hold a candle to batch 2, in my opinion. But like drinking it by itself in a vacuum, damn, that's good.
Yeah. So good. Wild Turkey, man. Killing it.
Back to Russell's. The show.
Yeah.
Dude,
anyway.
This is the ultimate Bryan tangent episode. Usually I do all right, not yanking you away.
You know, I have found that my life is better when I don't interrupt a good tangent. And people are going to get used to that. Darn it.
Darn it.
Yeah.
Ooh, water? Did you just sip water?
Yeah. It opens it up quite a bit.
I get more alcohol astringency with water.
I actually do as well. Yeah. That being said,
it's still delicious.
There's some sharp notes to it in a good way, but then again, sharp notes in an alcohol way.
Yeah.
I don't know which I prefer, to be honest. I think I might prefer it neat just a little bit more.
What were you getting with neat that you're not getting now with water, if anything?
So I don't always love sharper notes. Sometimes I like deep brown sugary notes, which I'm getting a little bit more with the neat pour.
I agree. With the neat pour. Okay.
Yeah.
With the water, the balance now, I talked about skinny in that bell curve and it still just rides the middle perfectly. I'm not getting the delicate and the fruitiness as much anymore. And it's trending more on the side of like classic, like brown sugary, deeper, more rugged. Rugged is just the best note ever.
It's better than smooth.
It's in line with smooth though. Rugged and smooth, man.
Better though.
That's great. I got to remember that one. This with water, it's more in line with classic Bookers. Classic Bookers being punchy and peanut. This is punchy, but still not as much peanut. So I'm neat over water for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I just dropped a cube. Yeah. What am I getting there?
That was somebody clip that, please. That was
yeah.
No, you can't recreate it. The genuine one was the way to go.
Yeah. At first I got a little bit of like a sweaty cumin note.
Sweaty
but
cumin?
That is not. Yeah. Dude, do not tell me that cumin doesn't smell like a sweaty dude.
Dude, what if cumin smells like sweaty dudes? I love sweaty dudes, man.
Yeah, like
I will overdo that in my chili.
Sweaty,
I will
like Mexican restaurant like feel.
Wait. Shout out to Paul Clarkson right here. Look at this cube. Look at this cube right here.
Look at that cube.
Let me not hold this over my back.
On it.
Hold this over my back. It's stuck to the Paul, tune into the YouTube channel to watch that one, man. My Chill Filter logo tiny ice cube is now in my Glencairn.
I think Paul does watch the YouTubes because he's commented a few times.
That's what I like to hear.
Oh, wow. Do I like the ice pour better? This just reminds me, though, that I don't love this pour. Like, I like it. It's good, but it's not blowing my mind in any way. Like, this might get mid-8s, low 8s, potentially.
Okay, I will definitely be over you on this one.
Okay,
just
cool.
I mean,
but you're
not
also
that we're
a Knob Creek kind of guy, and this kind of lines
true.
up with some better Knob Creeks.
Look what's on my heartthrob shelf
year?
right here. No, that's a 14-year, 3-month store pick.
Ooh, 14-year, baby. Is it good?
Boy, it's so good.
Nice.
It's got a leather tobacco thing that is just, if anyone gets any leather tobacco stuff on knob, this dials it up to 11.
Oh, leather knobs. All right. The fruitiness comes out a lot with the ice. I'm getting a little bit of berry fruitiness with some ice. It's worth trying with ice. It's one of those things where like the ice and the neat and the water are all so close, but also slightly different that it's worth trying. I would recommend anyone try these whiskeys with all water and ice as well.
Preference order though?
I actually might like ice more than neat, so I'm gonna just throw it out there and say ice, neat, water.
Ice, neat, water. Nice. I am, man, it's close. I am neat and then ice and then water is a clear last.
Okay.
So like neat and ice are pretty close, but it's definitely neat ice water. Nice ice water.
I need another liquid death for this kind of thing.
Dude, I saw a liquid death flavor I've never seen before. And I bought it. No. I didn't open it. It's in the fridge. Maybe on our next walk break, maybe I'll walk over there. But it was like
they recently added a few flavors.
It was a generic flavor, like it wasn't berry.
Grapefruit?
No, not grapefruit.
Lime?
Not lime.
They recently added apple, grapefruit, orange.
No, not orange either.
And it's not mango.
Maybe just new to me then. No, it definitely wasn't mango either. Man, maybe it's Arizona only. Maybe I need to courier you some liquid deaths.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Liquid death barrel pick.
Yeah, there's a scene for that.
For sure.
Let's talk about rating. I'll go first. I don't know. Really, like, I've never been blown away by Booker's ever. I give this an 8.2. It's good. It is a good bourbon. I appreciate the cast strength. I appreciate the I just feel like it's just not impressing me much. That don't impress me much. Yeah. So anyway. Sure, you got the whiskey, but do you got the touch?
So don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'm glad you're a Shania fan.
That'll keep me warm in the middle of the night, though.
This whiskey won't keep me warm in the middle of the night. I can tell you a lot of whiskeys that'll keep me more warm.
Okay, well, this whiskey will keep me warm in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm sitting in easy A.
Okay.
I think this is delicious. I think this is the Bookers I want my Bookers to be.
It is one of the better Bookers I've ever had, if not the best.
Yeah. I wanted to do one last take here against the Mighty Fine because I'm sure at least Patrick is waiting for me to say, well, how does it compare directly to the Mighty Fine?
Yeah.
At least on the nose. I'm not going to take a sec to sip because that would take me a whole 10, 20 seconds. And there would be dead silence for the next 10 to 20 seconds while I sip. But the nose on this, like Mighty Fine, definitely comes across punchy, ABV, hot relative to the reserves. I think the reserves is just the higher age shines on the reserves. I cannot believe that the reserve, like, okay, if I was a Beam, Booker's Beam, no. If I was a no,
ain't no way, ain't no way,
ain't no way I'm a no. But if I was a no, and I had bottles placed in front of me without labels, and they were like, "Where should you price this product?" The reserves would be $200. The Infinite would be 120 or whatever. Yeah. Please don't construe my words. The Infinite is not worth 120, but these are special releases. They are priced above normal Booker's. The price of Booker's Reserves, what we're drinking today, is like 120, 130, 140, somewhere right around there.
I forgot to mention that. It is 130 retail.
The price of Infinite was like 200.
Yeah.
I can't believe.
Take that, Freddie. No.
It is frankly, for us as the consumers, it is a fortunate circumstance that the Reserves is priced the way that it is, because it's freaking delicious. It's
much better.
Way better than your normal Booker's. I pegged this an A, easy A. Nice. It is extremely solid, well-rounded. No substantial negative comment can be made. I think it is, people say the pinnacle of whiskey.
Pinnacle.
If you consider the pinnacle, if you draw a bell curve on good old-fashioned whiskey notes, I think this shoots straight down the middle. This has everything you want. It has fruit, it has caramel, it has age oakiness, it has, and it's all perfectly in balance. I think this is a fantastic whiskey. I give it like an A. I give it like a 9.3. I think it's super delicious.
Nice. 9.3. That's awesome. It's a tan freaking fastic whiskey.
Perfect.
All right. Now that we've covered our ratings, let's switch it over to our next segment of the show, a segment we like to call Whiskey World News. All
right, welcome back. This is not the Reentry Buzz. This is Whiskey World News.
It is.
Close one. Whiskey World News. We are talking today about the Chill Filtered podcast.
Hey-o.
So we sent out a Patreon message to all our lovely, beautiful Patreon subscribers, and we sent a link for the pre-sale for our single barrel from Found North. We got a French oak toasted barrel, finishing barrel from Found North.
French oak barrel.
Please forgive me.
Toasted barrel.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, you're fine.
So the pre-order link is out now to patrons. Patrons are responding with how many bottles they want, not how many barrels they want. So if you, listener, are not a Patreon subscriber, please send us an Instagram message or send us an email at chillfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us that you are interested in a bottle of our Found North pick, because we are giving Patreon subscribers first dibs, of course.
Yep.
And people who attended the barrel pick first dibs, of course. But we are accumulating email addresses and bottle counts because Sealbox, the provider, the distributor for our Found North pick, is a box of seals, and they are taking our Found North pick and they're sending it out to people that we are telling them, hey, this guy at this email address wants 4 bottles. Nice. This guy at this email address wants 3 bottles. That I will say, the people that have responded so far, they want more bottles than I was expecting. They were wanting more bottles. Anyway,
ballers.
Hit us up now. Now, this episode is coming out on Monday, November, whatever it is, whatever Monday is closest to November 13 or so. You have the opportunity right now, if you're listening to this and you want a bottle of our Found North pick that was French oak toasted, just send us an email, send us an Instagram message, tell us you want a bottle or 6, because we will forward that information on to Sealbox. Sealbox will send you a custom invoice, and you will be able to pay for that. They will ship it straight to you. There is no pressure here at all. Cole and I aren't on the hook for a cent. We didn't have to buy any bottles. We're not responsible for the rest of the barrel. Sealbox, fortunately, thank you, it has assumed all financial responsibility for this barrel.
Gotta love a box of seals.
They will sell whatever's left to the rest of the world, but this is your chance now here to get in on this pre-order. So send us a message again on Instagram or at Gmail, chillfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know how many bottles you'd like, and we will make sure they make it to your doorstep.
Yeah. I almost dropped a glass. Which is big Whiskey World news. And if I may comment, you don't need to buy anything. But trust me, we picked this one for a reason. We had almost 20 people there, and the consensus was barrel number 2, which was the one we picked. Very good stuff. They're killing it at Found North. And here's the thing: is like, how often will you be able to get a Found North bottle, let alone a barrel pick? So, like I said, no pressure. We don't really care that much. But if you're interested, hit us up at either Instagram or chillfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. We'll send you the survey, and we'll get you, whatever you need. There are some situations, for example, John Hughes in Kentucky, seal box of seals will not ship to Kentucky for some stupid reason. But we will take care of that via courier. So hit us up. Even if seal box doesn't ship to you, we will take care of you. The courier has nice glutes, and you can slap him on his way out of town. So you know what I'm saying? So
couldn't have put it better myself. Yeah. Perfect.
Don't
and
worry
again,
about it. Yeah.
No pressure. You are doing Cole and me no favors by buying barrels or bottles. Dang it. Yeah. You are only buying bottles for yourself.
But I'm excited. Right. We've got some good people. Like few people are like ordering 3 bottles rather. So.
I gotcha. I got you.
Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Now that is Whiskey World News today. Moving into what whiskey would you choose? Cole, are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Do we have results?
This is the annual Fire Pit whiskey question. Cole put up Ardbeg Hypernova, nice smoky whiskey, Scotch. Cole is lifting it up from his floor right now, ? He's looking very intently to see where it is on the floor under his desk.
It's on the floor. I unplugged my light.
Nailed it. Nice.
Yeah.
So we got Ardbeg Hypernova. Right. We got Jack Daniel's Coy Hill for a Fire Pit whiskey. Turns out 77% of people prefer Jack Daniel's Coy Hill.
Yeah.
Over the Ardbeg Hypernova. I will say,
because they haven't had it. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah. They're probably like, dang, if I was at that Fire Pit with Brian, I'd totally pour his Jack Daniel's Coy Hill right now. Right there on the camera feed. Coy Hill right there. So come over to Brian's house, ring the doorbell. Don't even tell me you're coming. We'll light up the Fire Pit. We'll pour some Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. If you're one of the 77% who voted, I will check. I want
to say Miles Ferguson was the least on my team, which is what really matters. People that wear turtlenecks are on my team.
Very good. East Coast Fire Pit turtleneck crew chiming in for the Ardbeg Hypernova. But we asked you to write in, what is your 2024 Fire Pit Hypernova? What is your 2024 Fire Pit whiskey this year? Because we ask you this every year. It's a lovely question. We all love fire pits. Dramhound wrote in. He says, nothing special, just any old daily sipper. That's lovely.
I like that. It makes me feel like Dramhound is drinking by a fire like every other day. So.
That's what I was gonna say. I didn't even know what you were gonna say, but I was like, this dude fire pits like
dude, he's
all
big
the
into
time.
Fire pits. Yeah. This dude
Paul
gets
Clarkson
into fire pits fireplaces in a big way.
Fire picks, I love it.
Fire picks, yeah. It's real.
Paul Clarkson wrote in. He said, "Old Forester single barrel strength." Right?
That's
yes.
a good idea.
Delicious, and actually, dude, just like days ago, the Total Wine here in Phoenix that I know of had the newest release of the Old Forester barrel strength rye.
Nice.
It was I don't know. It was a barrel warehouse that I didn't even know. I'd never even seen the bottle yet. It was brand new. And of course, Brian Duncan was there to be there and buy one and see it and send a picture to all of us.
Who knows what he's doing?
Yeah. There's a brand new Old Forester single barrel strength rye out now. New barrel house that is never seen before. on the rise.
Nice.
Madtown Marketer wrote in, Ben Klepsick, he says, Driftless Glen Cast Strength Rye. Dude is on my
spicy.
Dude is on my team here. He loves the Driftless Glen, as I do too.
I had some of that yesterday, or at least a 4-year or 4 or 5 year.
The grassy one?
Straight. No, not the grassy one. The other one I have, and it was pretty good.
Delicious. Pretty good. Scale of 1 to 10.
So like, it's the weird thing. Like, we did the reentry buzz on it, and I was like, if this is not finished, I surrender all my points. And it is weirdly like finished-y, but it is so spicy. Like, it's just crazy. So like, I enjoyed it. I very much poured it for a reason. Yeah.
Nice. Love it. It's funny because we did that reentry buzz once, and like I got just hella candy rye notes on it.
Yeah.
But I've had driftless rye Glens, driftless Glen ryes that are like super herbal, super grassy.
No, this was herbal. Yeah.
It's just crazy how their diversity just like is so wide.
Especially the ryes. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I haven't had much bourbons, but Marco and AZ.
I don't even want to try it out because it's like, how can they beat their ryes? Yeah.
I know. They're like so high up in my mind now, thanks for that reentry buzz we did. Yeah. Marco and AZ wrote in, he says, Ardbeg Ugadal with a bacon cheeseburger cooked on the fire pit. He's one-upping us. He's not only is he drinking whiskey by the fire pit, he's cooking bacon cheeseburgers on the fire pit.
That's what I should do tonight. Oh, we don't have any beef. Nor do we have any buns.
But do you have any wood for the fire pit so you can cook your bacon cheeseburger on the fire pit?
Everything is failing for the Sebald household right now.
Total side note. It was like 39 degrees when I woke up this morning. What's your
dude? It's like 81 degrees right now.
What? Yeah. It's like 60 something right now.
Dang, Virginia's beating Arizona.
Yeah, sucks for you.
It hasn't hit freezing here, which is crazy for almost mid-November at this point.
Wow.
Like my plants outside still are kicking, my pepper plants, because it still hasn't frosted over.
You bring those in? You keep them in pots?
No, they're still outside. Like they're in outside pots, and they're still killing it.
Yeah. Wow. So like overnight temperature, what?
Never
50s?
It hasn't broken 40 basically.
Dang, we're crushing you in Arizona.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, last one here on the right ends, dude. Tangent City. Hope you enjoy. 480 whiskey. All right, dude. This is it. We
gotta know this 480 guy because he's probably in your land.
This is the time we connect because 480 whiskey says Found North.
And good choice. He's the guy that's going to get another barrel pick. Yeah.
Funny you mention it. Soon after we get off this video call here, I am sending an Instagram message to 480 Whiskey, letting him know the pre-sale link here for our form to fill out.
Knowing this baller.
I know, right? This dude needs a Found North pick, so he's getting one for sure.
Yeah.
Or woman, dude or woman. Man,
dude gotta get better or woman.
Yep.
Totes.
Working on it.
I have a feeling it's a dude. But if I'm wrong, sucks for me.
Statistically, dude, but we don't want to assume at all.
We're down. Now, if you're a woman or if you're somewhere between, bring it on.
You could be anything. We love everyone and everything on the Will Chill Filtered podcast. Whoa, wow. Man, I am drinking some Baker's 13 now. All right, moving into this week's What Whiskey Would You Choose? Yeah. Who should we do our next barrel pick with? That is the question.
So, okay. I'm gonna actually make a whole thing out of this. I think that we should do Sazerac. And here's my thing is if you are not on the Sazerac Barrel Select thing that they're doing, get on it now, especially if you're a listener of ours. Maybe you can't afford a Sazerac barrel pick. It's like 10 grand to expect for that. But like if you are, like I'm talking to you, Miles Ferguson or Paul Clarkson or whatever, like if you guys are on that, we will take care of that. We'll take care of all the details if Buffalo Trace gets picked. So the thing about Sazerac, especially with Buffalo Trace, is that you can like put your priorities on, stag barrels or Curly H. Taylor barrels or whatever, or like Sazerac or Eagle Rare or Buffalo Trace or Blands or whatever. And if you get picked, you're like, oh, wow, I should be able to do this. But if you are picked and you don't know how you're going to pull it off, we will help you pull it off. So like, I want to put that out there for those people. Like, go right now. If you're not on Sazerac Barrel Pick Select or whatever.com, just look it up on Google.
Sazerac Barrel
Select.com. Yep. And so if you're not on that right now, get on it, because what they do is they do like lotteries, and every now and then they'll pick a certain lottery of the certain barrels that they're going to pick. But then on top of that, it's like, if you get picked, or rather if you get picked, you get picked, and that's cool. But if you don't get picked, you'll have a higher chance of winning next time. So, and if you're a listener of ours and you're like, I really want to pick this stag barrel, but I don't know how I'll afford it, just know that we will help you do that.
We have people.
We have people that will help us out, and that like you will be there if you win. Like, you will be there while we go to Frankfurt and pick a barrel, and we're gonna have a ball over there. But it's gonna be a hoot. So I wanted to put that out there as like Sazerac, especially Buffalo Trace. But if you are not on that website, get on that website now, because that offers us a greater chance to do a cool trip to Frankfurt and pick a barrel and put it in, the name of Chill Filtered. So
very good.
Yeah.
Now for me.
Okay. Is it Driftless Glen?
It is Driftless Glen.
Oh, dude, Madison, Wisconsin, Baraboo, Wisconsin, baby. Dude, that's what we should probably start reaching out now, because it's going to happen.
I know. Yeah. Future Chill Filtered meetup, whenever it may be. I would love for it to be Madison, Wisconsin.
Totally.
I would love to go to Driftless Glen and pick a rye barrel with Driftless Glen. I freaking love their stuff. And I hope that they could give us a beautiful diversity of barrels. Dude, these are more herbal
barrels,
and these are more candy, so that I can pick whichever one I like out of them. Nice. I love Driftless Glen Rye.
You know who would be there like a million times over?
Ben Klepsig.
Ben Klepsig, who we haven't even mentioned thus far this episode.
Yeah. Everyone listening to this podcast said Ben Klepsig before I said Ben Klepsig.
Especially Katie Walks. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
She's going to fly up and they're going to be besties. So
no doubt. No doubt.
They're just the type of people that'll get along. And you too, Curtis.
No need to go in depth here. Yeah. It is Driftless Glen. Dude, just that'd be amazing. Please. I love you, Driftless Glen. Please call me back. Please. Yeah. I just want you to call me
down.
back.
I can assure you, if we planned it out to the summer, they're down. Yeah. Baraboo, Wisconsin, baby. Yeah. All right. Now we've talked about our what whiskey would you choose? Vote this week on Instagram. We're going to put it up, whether it would be Sazerac / Buffalo Trace or Driftless Glen. But we also have one more thing. What are we drinking next week?
You tell me, Cole.
Okay. We are between a 2023. We're excited about this season of the year. It is bourbon season. It is allocated season. And one of the things we're excited about was I'll tell the full story. I was on a plane from Phoenix to whatever last week, and Brian hits me up when I land, and he's like, hey, Buffalo Trace just announced the antique collection.
Yeah, and fortunately,
I also
you had drafted
an email. So typically, not always the case, but typically what I do with the Buffalo Trace antique collection is I email them as soon as the press release comes out and saying, hey, you guys got any barrel, any media samples for this? Yeah, y'all got any media samples. And so the faster it used to be, at least when Amy Preskey was involved, it used to be that the first to email was prioritized. It's not always the case anymore, but I assume we're on the further down tier these days. But one of the Sazerac reps reached out to us and said, "Hey, what are your priorities of barrels? Because we probably won't get every one of them, like some cool people on Instagram have already gotten." But they reached out and said, "Hey, what are your favorites? What would you rather?" Dude, you didn't notice?
No,
They're
who are these cool
looking
people?
bottles. Dude, I don't want to name names.
Wait.
But they're
No,
cool.
I gotta know now. Me and the listeners need
I
to
saw
know.
one, so I don't really follow her too much, but I'm sure some
You
of
don't
our
have to
listeners
say
do.
names, but like,
No,
what are
yeah.
these cool bottles?
Oh, no, they're like really cool looking sample bottles. They're like, yeah, just look them up. Look
100
up on
milliliter?
what is her name? Coffee Black Whiskey Neat. She got
Okay.
sent some. Um, and I'm a little bit jealous. But hey, we're not huge. We're not the biggest of the whiskey channels.
We have
But
day
I was
jobs.
like, crap. What's that?
we have day jobs.
Yeah, we have day jobs. And so they reached out and they said, so we still haven't heard back after this, but we prioritized our antique collection, favorites. So I assume we'll probably get at least one bottle this year. But if we get none, that's okay. We've had worse. Well, we haven't had worse. We've had equivalent. That being said, we have a chance this year. But anyway, next week we're gonna choose between two prior antique collection bottles. One is the William LaRue Weller from 2023, and the other is the George T. Stagg from 2022. Bottles that we've never done yet, or at least releases that we've never done yet on the podcast. So vote this week. What is your favorite? George T. Stagg 2022 or WLW 2023. So make sure you get on, especially on Tuesday, 2-Pick Tuesday, where you can choose what we're drinking next week. So
Asterisk may or may not be on Tuesday.
yeah, exactly. It might be on Wednesday or Thursday, but be ready. Be ready.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Any other thoughts before we close it out? We're not doing too bad. I assume we'd be at like a minute or an hour and 50 or something by now.
I know that's what I figured too. I figured, dude, like this is my derail episode. I've loved it. I've had so much fun. I hope our listeners have had fun too. Our loyal listeners have had as much fun as I've had today. But I hope that our Buffalo Trace priorities, our BTAC priorities, I hope we at least get number one.
Yeah. I hope that I don't get a 0 on my exam tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow?
Yeah.
You waited till now to announce that your exam is tomorrow?
Here's the thing. I'm not going to pass. So it's like the stress is down. I'm okay. It's going to be fine. But like, I'm 100% sure that I am not going to pass at this point, which is fine.
Well, I hope you exceed your expectations.
I do too. Yeah. And I hope that I spank you once again on the reentry buzz right after this, but not in like a physical way.
Dude, I wish you were here to spank me. I hope you were here to spank me.
Yeah. Tell Sam that.
She'd be all right with that.
She would be. But most of all, listeners, viewers, friends, we hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits.
Pork chop sandwiches.